Let's get to your top story, and that is in regard to fugitive diamond trader Mehul Choksi, one of India's most wanted in connection with the Punjab National Bank loan fraud case, is currently in Belgium. He has been arrested by the authorities there, and this is in regard to the diamandaire who was wanted in connection with the Punjab National Bank fraud case. He was granted residency back in 2023. The arrest was made at the request of Indian agencies, including the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, which follows non-bailable warrants issued against him by the Mumbai courts. He has been a fugitive since 2018. He was detained on the 12th of April from a hospital in Belgium, where he had reportedly been undergoing treatment. To know more on this, we have my colleague Nikunj Garg joining us with the very latest.
Belgian authorities had a few days back confirmed two important things to NDTV. And in specific, they had said that Mehul Choksi was actually present in Belgium, and his locations were known to the Belgian authorities. And second, they had confirmed that they are seized of the Indian request of extradition of Mehul Choksi and were working on it. So quite clearly, today's development comes as no big surprise. However, it is a very big development because if you remember, last time Mehul Choksi fled Antigua, claiming that there was an abduction bid on him, and after that he was nowhere to be seen. And nearly 3 years after that, this happened sometime in the winters of 2021. Nearly 3 years after that, in the winters of 2024, he surfaced in Belgium. In fact, in a court filing recently, the address and the documents that he gave were also of Belgium. So, which means that, quite clearly his residency in Belgium was a given. And post the story broke out, NDTV contacted the Belgian authorities as well. And as I said, that they confirmed two things to NDTV. And one of the things was that Mehul Choksi was indeed present in their country, and that they were also seized of Indian request to extradite him, and they were working on it. Quite clearly, the next development in any extradition request is, of course, taking the suspect into the custody before he makes good his escape. And in this case also, it seems to have happened now, as the reports indicate.
Right, thank you so much, Nikunj, for joining us with all those details. Vishal joining us as well. Vishal, of course, from what we're hearing, from what we're picking up, is that he was unwell, he was taken to a hospital, and that is where the Belgian authorities managed to arrest him.
Yes, so as Nikunj mentioned that there was a confirmation from the authorities of Belgium that he had been residing in Belgium for a while now, and then that was followed by an extradition request from India, and almost immediately after that, he has been arrested. So it's a follow-up of a procedure, and India had reached out to the Belgian authorities, and Belgian authorities had confirmed this to NDTV about three to 4 weeks ago, that this is going on, and that the fact that he is in Belgian territory. So it's a swift procedure from the Belgian authorities, and they have indeed acted on their promises. And what will be interesting to be seen right now is that how quickly they can extradite or initiate the process of this whole extradition process, because it takes a while before these things materialize. As we've seen in the case of Tabu Rana, it took years before he was flown from US to the Indian territory. How much time it will take in this case, that remains to be seen. He has been absconding for the last more than 7 years now. He fled India in January 2018. Soon after, he was named in one of the biggest financial fraud cases the country's ever seen, a 13,500 crore fraud case related to Punjab National Bank. He had furnished some duplicate documents, some illegal documents in order to get some deals. So that's the case he has been involved in. And also there's the angle of Nirav Modi, who is his nephew. He is also involved in some financial irregularities, and he is languishing in the UK prison. So how Indian authorities coordinate with these European partners, that has to be seen. But for now, it's a welcome change that this extradition process is sort of initiated now. But how long it takes for him to actually be flown from the Belgian territory to Indian territory, that will have to be seen.
Right, thank you, Vishal, for, of course, getting us those details, but also take us through the details of this particular case. How is it that Mehul Choksi, as well as Nirav Modi's nephew, managed to pull off this fraud, which included bank officials, employees, and so many others?
Well, ED and CBI have been investigating the case for the last 7 years now. Both have had notices against this person. He's one of the richest people in India, is what the reports claim. He had his connections. He furnished some illegal documents, some fabricated documents in order to have some loans approved, is what the authorities have been saying. And this loan can amount to as much as 13,500 crores. So that gives you a scale of the, the whole fraud. And Punjab National Bank is one of the biggest banks in India, one of the biggest sector, public sector banks in India. And the fact that he was able to, deceive these authorities, some high authorities, with such ease, that is being investigated. And how big the network was he planning to do something more? All of that could be explored. But for now, there's also the angle of whether or not he will be flown from the European territory to India, because he has claimed that he's not well. He suffers from cancer, he needs treatment. And that is what he claimed initially, that he had gone to Belgium for cancer treatment. But later turned out that his wife is a Belgian citizen, and he had also furnished some Belgian details in his claims to the authorities there. And also some reports suggest that he fabricated those documents as well while in Belgium. So there could be some legal implications inside Belgian territory for him as well.
Vishal, just stay with us. We also have Sumit Chandar, advocate of the Supreme Court, joining us. Let us get you the very latest on this particular case. Sir, what are the legal options that he has? And just like we've seen in the case of Rana's extradition, it was the United States president that played a significant role. Can we expect the same kind of coordination and cooperation from other countries such as Belgium?
Already the matter is in process. The excuses which he has already taken, of course, one is your health. He has taken that excuse of that he is not in a fit condition. He is a patient of cancer, treatment is needed. Secondly, he can also take away these, if he can demonstrate exceptional circumstances where, in situations where he was not even aware that there is a case against him. And these are the excuses that he may come up. Now, the inquiry will be done by the magistrate of that or a magistrate equivalent of that country. And the Indian Extradition Act 1962 gives the authority to the government that they have already issued notices. They will be there in the court there. Government has already moved an application to be implemented. So these are the aspects. Now, what will happen there is again for the magistrate there to be decided. But chances, like always, the chances are that he would be extradited. The government will get a chance to prove their case before the magistrate there and give the appropriate papers to bring him back.
Right, of course, given the timing that this is really coming on the heels of Tahir Rana's extradition, how quick can this process really take? Or rather, because we do know these processes usually take years, and that is what we saw in Rana's case. But can we expect a better coordination perhaps in this particular case? And of course, this is also raising hopes in other cases, including his nephew, Nirav Modi.
We cannot generalize this. Why we cannot generalize this? Every country has their own speed of dealing with cases. You cannot generalize it to all the countries to go in a similar manner. Of course, the process will be followed. The principles of natural justice have to be followed no matter which country you are in. However, a lot of things also depend. Like in India, you have cases which are so many cases to a particular judge that it takes time. Dates are given longer. Now, I don't know how this court situation there is, how many number of cases is dealt with by a certain judge in a day. So it all depends on that. Accordingly, the dates will be given, will be long or short, and accordingly the decision may come at a certain period. But you cannot actually define how soon or late can the decision come.
Right, sir. Of course, even Tahir Rana was appealing on grounds of medical issues, saying that he has 33 different issues that he is dealing with. He'd also gone on to say that he'd be tortured, and he was, highlighting the inhumane conditions that he would have to go through had he been, if he was sent into an Indian prison, saying that he'd be tortured because he is a Muslim of Pakistani origin. Now, even this man apparently has been saying that he's unwell and, it was perhaps reports are suggesting that he was at a hospital undergoing treatment is when the Belgian authorities picked him up from that very hospital. So, in such cases, when it comes to, playing that medical card, what are the legal options that one has?
See, again, medical card is one of their basic cards because end of the day, you try to use the sympathy of the court, of the government to say that, listen, I'm already in a bad situation. I cannot go through and defend myself in a certain manner and then trial shifting to the country which has already issued notices against me. I was not aware of that. And to then contest it in a country where already the courts are against him, the media is against him. So these are the basic pleas. I think every person who's been moved an application for an extradition by India would take, or by any country for that matter. Now that is why the trial will take place before a magistrate court there. The government is also now a party. Government of India will convince the court there that he'll be given an opportunity of being heard. Proper democratic process and a judicial process will take place. So it all depends now on the magistrate. Normally, the magistrate will not stop the extradition from happening.
I'll let you go is, of course, this is bringing to mind other cases, including Vijay Mallya and Lalit Modi. We do know their locations. They take to social media. We've seen pictures and videos. What, protects them from perhaps, being brought back to India in terms of the extradition between the United Kingdom and India?
See, it's not that the extradition process is not there. Every country, there is a diplomatic channels that are there. In what manner and how strong a diplomatic control India would have over that country. Also that, when a trial takes place, it is again, he may apply for a bail there, then the situation, because he'll need his treatment in the hospital. So he will be possibly on the medical grounds be released on bail. The trial will continue, and that is what is happening with the others. So they are there, the trial is on, doesn't mean that they need to be in the jail. After the end of the trial, if it is concluded, yes, offence is made out, India is authorized to take him back, and the extradition needs to take place, then yes, the magistrate will order accordingly, and he will be brought back to India, where again he will be arrested and put in jail with proper due process of law.
Right. Thank you so much, Adar, for joining us this morning on NDTV. Well, let's just go back to my colleague Vishal. Vishal, of course, Nirav Modi. He remains in prison in London and continues to fight his extradition to India after multiple bail rejections. Take us through, how easy or difficult it is to sort of evade these extradition appeals in regard to, it's been years, and of course, it does really matter how deep your pockets are from what we've been hearing, and which is perhaps, the reason why they have been given some sort of protection by the governments in those particular countries.
Well, as our expert mentioned just a few moments ago, that it's not so easy to evade authorities on these cases. These are some high-profile cases involving some of the richest people on the planet, and authorities do pursue these cases seriously. As we can see from the arrest of Nirav Modi and now Mehul Choksi, Nirav Modi has been in the UK jail for a while now, and that India had requested his extradition as well, and UK authorities had complied to that. But there are some legal wranglings that are going on, some legal proceedings that need to be gone through before he is finally extradited to India. So that those procedures will have to be drawn. They will have to be gone through before he is sent to India. But we can say that the formal approval of extradition had happened a while ago. Nirav Modi will in a matter of time will be extradited to India. But the case of Mehul Choksi has just started in Belgium, and as our expert mentioned, it could take some time before the authorities there finalize their judgments and finally conclude that this man has to be extradited. There could be several grounds that he could be granted bail for, such as the medical grounds that he has claimed in the recent past, that he suffers from cancer and he can barely walk. So on those mercy grounds, he could be granted bail, he could not be granted bail. That will have to be seen. That is for the courts to decide there, and then that will probably be followed by a formal extradition from there to India. So that will have to be seen. It will take some time.
Right. Thank you so much, Vishal. Also, let's just listen in to Hariprasad, the whistleblower, on Mehul Choksi's arrest in Belgium.
You see, the laws and the legal systems are going to take place, take some lot of time, but I hope so. They can get him back. That's the only hope, because he is not going to take it easy. He has a fleet of lawyers from the best of the world. First of all, he has so much money. It's only in 2016 only he stashed away at least $2 billion. So I don't know how much he must have multiplied that.
हरी सर, अब आपसे हम हिंदी में भी बात करना चाहेंगे, हिंदी के दर्शकों के लिए। जो सुबह सुबह आज खबर आई है कि मेहुल चोकसी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है बेल्जियम में, और अब उम्मीदें बढ़ी हैं कि उसे जल्दी ही भारत में एक्स्ट्राडिट करके लाया जाएगा। तो आपकी पहली रिएक्शन क्या है इस पूरे मामले में, विसल ब्लोअर होने के नाते?
पहली रिएक्शन तो बहुत अच्छा है, हम बहुत खुश हैं। फाइनली उसको कैच किया गया है बेल्जियम में एटलीस्ट। बट उसमें क्या होता है कि वो उसको वापस लाने में कितना तकलीफें होंगे हमको पता नहीं है। और इंडियन लीगल सिस्टम इज गुड, बट डीलिंग विथ ओवरसीज लीगल सिस्टम इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी इजी। उसमें क्या होता है कि उसको वापस लाने से क्या मिलेगा? अल्टीमेटली हमको वहाँ वो जो पैसा लूट के लेके गया वो तो वापस लाना पड़ेगा। वो कैसा लाएंगे वो हम बिल्कुल जानकारी नहीं है हमको, पर कहाँ कहाँ उसने पैसा रखा है। ऑफ कोर्स बेल्जियम में उसका मेन बेस था, तो शायद बेल्जियम में तो नहीं रखा होगा, स्विस बैंक में रखा होगा, किसको पता किधर है। सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को उसको लाने के अलावा पैसा लाना बहुत जरूरी है। वो क्या है, आदमी का कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है अभी।
हरी सर, उसके वकीलों से जो हमारी बात हुई, उनका कहना है कि वो पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि पहले उसे बेल्जियम में बेल दिलवाई जाए और उसके बाद फिर जो एक्स्ट्राडिशन है उसका भी विरोध किया जाए। तो अपने वकीलों की फौज फिर एक बार खड़ी करने को तैयार है मेहुल चोकसी, और पैसा भी खर्च करने को तैयार है अपने आप को इंडिया आने से रोकने के लिए। इस प्रयास को कैसे देखते हैं आप?
प्रयास तो करेगा ही, वो क्यों इतना आसान से छोड़ देगा क्या? कोई भी अपने आप को बचाने के लिए पूरा कोशिश करेंगे, बट हम कितना स्मार्ट है उसको लाने में, कितना सक्षम है, इसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि वो उसको वापस लाया जा सके नहीं लाया जा सके। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि वो वापस आ जाए।
सर, एक घोटाला हुआ पीएनबी बैंक का, जिसमें कुल 13,800 करोड़ रुपए लेकर के भागे मेहुल चोकसी और नीरव मोदी दोनों मिलकर। ये सब जानते हैं, लेकिन कितने लोग इससे अफेक्टेड थे, कितने लोगों को इससे परेशानी हुई, बैंक्स को रिवाइव करने में कितना मेहनत लगा, इस बारे में अगर आप थोड़ी जानकारी साझा करें कि कितना बड़ा स्कैम था इन द एक्सटेंट ऑफ पीपल्स अफेक्टेड बाय दिस स्कैम, उस पर आप थोड़ी अगर बात करें तो।
मेरा हिसाब से कम 100 लोग अफेक्टेड है इनका चीटिंग का प्रोसेस से। सब लोगों को मिला के मेरे ख्याल से 100-200 करोड़ होगा मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली। वो ऑफिशियली नोन फैक्ट है, बट पता नहीं कुछ लोग कैश में डील किए होंगे, हमको पता नहीं उसके बारे में। वो कितना है हमको आइडिया नहीं है, बट वो जो लोगों का ये कॉमन मिसकंसेप्शन है कि वो 12,000 करोड़ ही लेके गया। मेरा हिसाब से मैंने जो इन्वेस्टिगेट किया उसके बारे में, उसके हिसाब